not going to be talking like that. But you bring that one cat over that does do that, and then it brings out the rest of it. And that's what I'm looking for out of that skill group. I want that alpha mentality, and that one guy we brought over is really bringing that out right now.
That's good. So, are there any specific matchups or players we should keep an eye on in this game?
Yeah, and one Will Smith. Will Smith, I look for him to have a big game.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a lot to prove to himself. He wants to be the guy in the state that everybody's looking at as far as, hey, I've been doing this for 2 years. I know one of them got cut short, but I'm ready to have that breakout game, and he's primed and tuned for it. And then you got the skill guys on offense. You have Bryson, you have Sherrod, you got Nolan, you got Jax, and all those guys are game breakers at times. And you know, it's a blessing for me to be able to have 4 guys on the field that can run like that at one time. Then you had a good quarterback and a good running back in with them. I expect the offense to have a really good night, and I really think that we've planned for that. And then defensively, the guy we had last week, B.J. Alsmer, he's gonna have a good game.
He's gonna get his.
Yeah, he's gonna get his every game. He's a force to be reckoned with down there. And tackles are gonna have a problem with him all year. It doesn't matter who you put in front of him; he's gonna get his. I expect a big game out of him.
All right. So, with the home crowd behind you, how do you think the atmosphere at Greyhound Stadium will impact the team's performance?
Well, I mean, just like it did last year for them. They have a great home crowd. They have a great atmosphere. If you've ever been to a game there, you've heard kids talk about, and you've heard other people talk about it. It looks like a festival going on in the end zone down there. They'll have 120 tents in the end zone. It's the same exact thing it did last year. It was down to the wire. It was close, and then you know they still had energy to feed off of to where we're having to make our own. Now I think that's going to flip flop for us a little bit this year. You play games at the Pep, you got a crowd behind you. You got the energy, you got the noise, and when it comes crunch time, you're going to have that. Those kids are going to have that, and they know they have that, and they truly feed off of that. No matter what anybody says about, you know. You can talk about a home field advantage, this, that, and other. It's a high school football game. There's only 7,000 or 8,000 people there. We're going to put 7,000 people there, and they're going to be loud when it comes time for them to be loud. Our kids love that. They enjoy that. They know that they're trying to put on a show for those people. They're out there to make it happen.
Yeah, they're going to love it. All right, so you got some new faces on the field this season. How have they been adapting to the team's dynamics so far?
I mean, you know, it's plug and play at this point. It's Jacoby Bailey's linebacker for us is going to be a really, really good player, and he knows the defense in and out. He's been backing up Trace Carter for a year. He watched him as a 9th grader. He's a junior and taking his spot now, and you know he has all the potential in the world to be a Trace Carter, if not better. And it's that type of mentality on our defense, and then in places on offense where they've seen the success over 3 or 4 years. They've seen what it takes to be that successful, the pride those kids took in being that person and being that starter, and they take that upon themselves now. Now that's the standard at which we play and at which we expect our starters to act, and the players on our scout team and JV and second string or whatever you want to call it. They know that's the mentality they have to bring to the game as well in order to be that guy. And you know that's what they're all striving for at the end of the day, is to be that guy. And those guys that are in those spots now, they know what it takes. They're wanting to be that guy now, and it's their time.
They want to prove themselves.
Yep.
All right. So, what areas have you seen the most growth in from your players since the start of the season, preseason?
Maturity. You know, that's something we were worried about, is the leadership and the maturity of our football team going in, because you know that defense, 10 guys that started, or 8 guys at least that started since they were sophomores. I mean, that they had time to mature, they had time to take over, they had time to be the guys on the team. Now, when you graduate that many, when the majority of those guys were your leaders, you know, what do you do at that point? You've had to been developing leaders this whole time, and I feel like we've been doing a really good job, you know, 7th, 8th, 9th grade all the way through, of bringing those guys through the system and developing that leadership even in younger guys. It doesn't have to be, just because they're a senior doesn't mean I'm saying they're the most mature person. I'm talking about maturity of sophomores, juniors, and then bringing those leadership qualities out of the guys who have those qualities. And we grew in July. We grew in July. I was still worried about it in May. You know, we did some different things that we thought would help, and some things that we were kind of looking towards to help. And in July, I started seeing that maturity grow and the understanding of what it takes to be at the level that we're at right now and what everybody else is doing. And that's the biggest thing I'm proud of is their maturity. They've come to August with.
That's you speak of the seniors. So how important is senior leadership for you, and who has stepped up in that role this season so far?
Quarterback Connor White, and it's been, again a July August thing. He's trying to win the job. He's trying to earn the respect of his teammates. He moved back here in January. Kind of got back in the mix of things. We had 2 or 3 quarterbacks that are fighting for the job over here, and as he's doing it, he's fighting for his job, trying to earn respect. So leadership qualities aren't quite coming out yet because he's focused on one thing. And since he's won the job and we've gotten to August, those leadership qualities have started to expel themselves. And whether it's talking to the offensive line or the running backs, or even talking to the defense on the other side of the ball and making sure that they're solid. They know that we got their back on the offensive side. He's done a really good job at expelling those leadership qualities. And then Bryson Smith and Will Smith, they've always been guys who are work ethic type of leaders. They're you see them doing their thing on the field. You see them doing their thing in practice. They're a work ethic based, and they've noticed that. And we've had talks about, like, at some point you have to be vocal with some of these young guys. Like you can't just, as sophomores and juniors, you can rely on your work ethic, but at some point you've got to open your mouth and talk. And they've taken that to heart. They've done it. Defensive side, BJ Alsmer, Asher Fazer, Ricky Orso, your 3 main guys on the defensive front. They have completely taken over that unit. Couldn't be more proud. They couldn't have a better 3 guys to take over a unit like that. You're talking about some really high quality, but at the same time, really physical and nasty individuals as well that our defense is feeding off of, and that's who I want them to feed off of.
Right. All right. So how do you balance maintaining, this is about your coaching philosophy now, so how do you balance maintaining a competitive edge while also fostering a positive environment for the players?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It is a daily battle to balance those two. Obviously you're talking about who's in the upcoming week or who's the next upcoming game. If you go all the way back to the spring, and you're trying to keep those juices flowing as far as the competitive edge goes, but at the same time, like, we operate on a very strict system offensively. Like we are consistent. We are consistent. You never get too high. You never get too low. No matter what, there's going to be a bad thing happen in the first half of every game, but we're so consistent. It's next play, next play, next play, next play. But then balancing the competitive edge part of it too. You want those guys to be fiery. You want them to be ready to go. You want them bouncing around, and it's hard to go from one to the other. But we rely a lot on our team chemistry as far as let those defensive guys be your guys that are getting the juices up. Offensively, we got to be consistent, but at the same time that we got to be able to jump back and forth. And my offense guys, at some point you've got to get up and be the dog. You got to get up and be the dog, and that's what we've been working on. Will Smith so much is like, I love the Barry Sanders attitude. Get up and handle official football, run back to the sideline, but sometimes I need you to flex on somebody. I need you to let them know about it.
I'm talking about give him a little LeBron or something, man. Like, let them know you here. I be wanting to get that that character.
I think you're gonna see it out of him this year. I've been really proud of him and his development.
I want him to pop in so bad, man. All right, Coach. So, what do you hope the players take away from playing under your leadership beyond just the wins and losses? What do you think they're going to take from being under you? Because these basically your sons now.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of them around right now. That's it's something that, especially your guys that are older and they've been with you for a little bit while, and then you got your newer ones. Like we talked about Lanny Waltman last week, and I got the newer sons coming up, and I got my older sons that are getting ready to get out. It's something I want them to know that, one, I deeply cared about that individual. I want them to take that from me, and then I want them to know that going into any future success, they can always look back to the way not only myself but my entire coaching staff coached them, taught them, and expected the right things out of them. I expect you to be responsible. I expect you to handle your business. I expect the work ethic every day. I'm not going to praise you for doing what you're supposed to do. They know that. They keep a pretty good tab on it most of the time. I used to. They're high school kids, you got to get on them, but I want them to be able to go into the world, whatever it is they want to do, and be able to look back at what we're doing in this field house right now and be like, this is the direction I need to take in order to be successful.
Yeah.
I told them, as long as I'm in the position I'm at, I'm going to climb and climb and climb until whatever position I want to be at the end of the day, I'm doing better than that individual.
Yeah.
And I want my assistant coaches to be that way. And this is just a leadership meeting.
Right.
I want my offensive coordinator to try to beat me to work every day. He'd keep trying. I may set my alarm a little earlier. You better try to beat me to work every day. Right. I want my defense coordinator to do the same thing. I want my quarterbacks coach to try to beat my offensive coordinator to work. Like, it's something that was instilled in me as a young man, and I want to instill that in them too, because, I mean, just like the world's rough. The football is going to end at some point for everybody,
right.
Whether you're in the NFL or you finish playing after junior high. It is going to end at some point, and I want them to be prepared for what's coming next.
Yeah. All right. So looking ahead, with such a big season opener at home, how do you maintain focus for this week, regardless of the outcome? Like, we just left the ribbon cutting for the field house finally. It's open to the public now. Also, we had a big the middle school game opened up against Picayune, by the way. The Greyhounds won. What would you say, 27?
24-7, 28-7, something like that.
And, these teams are going to see each other later on in the future. So we're looking at the foundation of that. But how are you happy to keep all this stuff focused and keep everything, the lecture at hand for this Friday night game?
You got to put your blinders on. This is that time of the year where you put your blinders on, you focus on the 70 to 80 individuals that you have in that locker room and what you have at task each week. Like, it's a long season. If you go all the way through it, 16 weeks of this, and it's very, very tough. I mean, on Monday, I had my plan of what I was going to do on Monday by myself in my office when I had time to focus. And when people are knocking on your door every 30 minutes or calling you every 5, it doesn't always work out that way. But at some point, you have to let people know. Like, I have a obligation to the individuals on this football team to make sure they are the most prepared they can be for the upcoming week, and I'm putting my blinders on. At that point, like, I'm focused. We've been focused on Madison since January, but come Sunday, that was it. You're one road, one thing to look at, and that's where we're going.
Tunnel vision. You're on out, man. All right, so what goals do you have set for your team on and off the field?
I mean, goals go week to week. We prepare for everybody the same exact way. We're going to prepare. I don't care who you are. We're preparing like that game is a state championship game. We're going out to win it. Obviously, your end goal is to be there at the end. You want to be there at the end, and you want to walk off with a smile on your face, and that means you won the last one. So I mean, if that's not your goal, then kudos to you, but that's ours. And region championships are great, but that's just a stepping stone. That's a placement for your playoffs. Get to the playoffs, win your playoffs games, get to the state championship. That's where we're headed. And these kids want to walk off, say they're the first football team in OSHS Springs to win the state championship. But we're gonna try and give it to them.
Ooh, boy, gonna be legends here. They do that, there, boy. It's time. It's coming though. It's coming. All right, so Coach, how do you approach building a long-term culture of success here at OSHS Springs? You just said you want to be here and bring that first championship here.
I mean, that's that's a question that every coach wish they had the answer to. I mean, I'm in a very fortunate spot. I'm in a great community, great city, great place to live. And on top of that, I'm still young as far as career-wise goes. I mean, it's got a long time to retire, and to me, there's not a better job in the state. Like for all the reasons I just said, plus the way that our kids are, our school, our administration, our school district, there's not a better place to be. And as long as I can keep winning here and putting the right product on the field for these kids, making sure that they're always in the right place to succeed, and then doing the right things in the school and outside of school and in the community as well. Like that, I want to be here until I retire. So, I wish I had the exact plan for it. I think there's a bunch of coaches around the state and around the country who wish they had that plan for it. I don't know if I had the plan, but day to day, I'm going to try to figure it out.
That's right, man. All right, so how important is the team's community support to the how important is the community for support to the team?
Oh, I mean, y'all seen the Facebook posts, it's everything. I mean, we do a lot of fundraisers.
Right.
I ask the kids to do a lot as far as reaching out in the community and making sure that they're trying to get businesses involved, but showing their faces too,
Right.
and don't just make me be the one going around talking to all these business owners in town. I mean, Ocean Springs is an interesting place. You don't have the casinos, you don't have the huge hotels, you don't have those type businesses, but what you do have is a bunch of local people who are proud of being in Ocean Springs and having a business in Ocean Springs. And I want our guys to get out and I want you to meet those people. Those are the type of people you're going to want to know later on in life. And they're going to recognize you without your helmet on when you go over there and talk to them and, introduce yourself and them know that you're coming out and trying to do great things for your community just as a football player. And our community, I mean, there's no holds barred. They give back. They want to see this program be successful. They want to see this school be successful. I wish that I wish that there was a way that I could thank them outside of just verbally doing it, but man, they've been really, really good to us.
Right.
They've provided all the equipment we needed through fundraising incentives, and I can't thank them enough for doing that.
Right.
And the community support obviously at the games and just showing up big time too.
Definitely, yes, man. It is huge. Like I said, we just left the middle school game and it was packed out there for the middle school game, man. All right, so what message do you have for the Greyhound fan as they get ready to pack the stands this Friday night, tomorrow night?
Show up. It's going to be a fun party, man. We put the live stream out there for the people that can't get there. Show up to the stadium. Show up to the stadium, support these guys. They put the work in, day out. They've been doing it since November of last year whenever we stopped playing. Show up to the game. Put your support out there. Be loud. Don't just sit.
Right.
Stand up, yell.
Come early, tailgate.
There will be some tailgate going out in front of the field house. There's different groups putting it on, but make sure you get there early because I've seen people posting all week. Parking's a problem. Parking's a problem.
Yeah.
You get there early enough, it may only be about a quarter-mile walk instead of a half-mile walk, but people are going to be there. They're going to show up, and I fully expect this community to.
It's a home opener, and it's a week one, and y'all are open up against not just anybody. You open up against Madison Central.
Yeah.
So this is why this is the big game of the week, and this is why this is the game that everybody should be at to look at this week. Ocean Springs is going to have them every week. That's why we have this show, the Big Game Breakdown, because each and every week, the toughest schedule will get broke down, and you'll see why. He's telling you each and every week why he made this schedule like this, because we want our respect. The coach wants their respect. We want gold balls. And the only way to get gold balls, you got to go up against the best early and often.
That's right. That's right.
So, Coach, man, appreciate you for having you on, starting off, man. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with Ocean Springs quarterback Connor White.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you. We are back from that break. Now it's time to bring in one of the key players for the Greyhound this season. Let's welcome Ocean Springs Greyhound QB1 Connor White. Connor White, welcome to the show, man.
What's up?
What's going on with you, man? Connor, first off, how does it feel to be stepping into the role of QB1 this season, especially with a big game against Madison Central coming up? So you getting thrown right into the ringer.
Yeah, I mean, To be honest, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. I mean, I've been waiting for this since my 10th grade year. I mean, and as far as big game, I wouldn't consider it a big game. I consider it just another game where we can show what OSHS is about.
Okay, so all right, so what's been your mindset going into this week? Any specific goals that you set for yourself?
Not really goals. Just the main thing, just limit turnovers, really, and just lead. Really try to be very vocal and stuff during practice. And yeah, I can.
Okay. All right, so how has the connection with you and your receivers and offensive line been developing during practice?
I mean, see, the O-line getting better.
Yeah.
We really got some dogs out there that really be putting their body on the line for it. And as far as receivers, I mean, y'all say it right here. So I feel like we got the best receiver core in Mississippi. Yeah. And so based on the Jamboree, I mean, should people really kind of have their bad thoughts about us? I mean, ain't really nothing. It didn't phase any of our guys because we know what we can do. So.
Right. All right. So what are you most excited about the game against Madison Central?
Really just the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The fireworks.
Yeah.
The fans.
Really. Student sections, man, everything, man. It be lit
everything.
at the Pep, man. Every Friday the Pep be lit. All right. Connor, as QB1, how are you feeling heading into this week's big game against Madison Central? Like, do you have any anxiety, any nervousness, or none of that?
No, not at all. I can't lie. Just another game. I mean, it's the first game of the season. Yeah. That stuff and all, but it really just another game.
Right. Okay.
To be honest.
All right. QB1. What does your preparation routine look like? Like leading up to the game like this? How you get in your mode?
Film Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
And then Friday. Okay. All right. So all right. Let's talk. So Friday is like it's really about myself. Like I don't think about the game at all. So I really let the game kind of like sneak up on me.
Right.
So like I don't worry about the game at all. Watch TikTok, YouTube. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch no football on Friday. Yeah. I just want to be a kid until the game to pop up on me.
Yeah, I get it. So how do you handle the pressure that the quarterback, being the QB1 of the Springs Greyhounds, especially in front of that home crowd, do you feel any pressure from that?
No, I can't lie. Not at all. Pressure. I mean, I'm fully prepared, so there really ain't no pressure. Yeah. I mean, the coaches gave me all the tools that I need to succeed. Yeah. So now all I gotta do is just execute it.
Oh, definitely, man. So, how have you been working to build chemistry with your receivers and offensive line? Like Coach Bramlett, he said this summer you was battling from July to August for the starting position. Yeah. Then once you were finally named QB1, he said you became more vocal. When did the gelling start to happen? When you started to say, all right, this is my offense, I'm commanding this huddle. Like, when did that happen for you?
I can't lie. It took me some time. Coach Bramlett kind of stayed on me to be more vocal and stuff like that because I'm like more of a quiet kid. Yeah. But I mean, these are my guys. Like these are guys that you see me around town with and stuff like that. So I mean, the chemistry and all that stuff always been there. It just really just put it on the football field and. Growing from it, really.
Minus the 1 year you went to Mars Point, you grew up a Greyhound, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, who are some of the players you look up to try to emulate in your style of play?
Ray Hubbard,
of course.
I mean, he really like left a stamp on me and how I look at the football in general. Right. I mean, ever since I was in 9th grade, his junior year. Then my 10th grade year, his senior year, like he was a very great leader. Yeah. And gave me good tools. Yeah. Not on the football field, but just in life in general.
Man, I wish he would have brought that gold ball to OSHS Springs. Man, they would have had to put a statue in here. That was right there, 2 years in a row. All right, so all right, what aspect of your game are you focusing on the most in this matchup this week against Madison Central?
Really just limiting turnovers. Just controlling what I can control.
Yeah.
And that guy's saying that I say to myself, you don't gotta do nothing special to be special.
Right.
So the real, I'm just do my job
Yeah.
and just let everything else play out.
Do you consider yourself a field general or a game manager?
Low-key, a field general, because a game manager, he's just gonna just do the bare minimum and stuff like that.
Stay safe.
Me, like, I don't take shots.
Yeah.
I don't take shots. I can't lie.
Oh, trust me, we know you was our 7-on-7 quarterback. We know you're gonna take them shots.
Yeah, I'm gonna take shots.
All right, can you give us some insight into what the offense has been working on this week to prepare for Madison Central defense? Anything you've seen, like you say you're a film junkie. What have you been seeing that's really trying?
Man coverage. The corner really like to play man on our senior receiver, and so like I told the receiver that most likely gonna have a man, be ready. I mean, because the fades, the slants, the glances, they're coming.
Yeah.
And I'm a throw.
In there, is being a left-handed quarterback, does everything have to flip for you?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah, not really.
Okay. All right, what personal goals have you set for yourself this season, and how do you plan to achieve them?
To be honest, Loki, this is my first year. I've never set any personal goals for me. I can lie. I just want to win.
Yeah.
I just want to win. My senior year, I just want to win.
Yeah, you leave your mark. I get it. All right. What has been the most challenging part of stepping in a QB1 role, and how have you overcome it?
Really nothing challenging. It really just being a leader, being a guy that guys can look upon anytime adversity strikes.
Yeah. All right. What's one piece of advice you received from your coaches that has stuck with you?
Let's see. Take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
You got to take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Carpe diem. This is my senior year, so I'm taking advantage of the opportunity that I've been given.
Yeah. All right, your QB coach, who we have coming up next, Coach Brodie King, how has he helped you develop your skills in understanding the quarterback position?
I mean, so he's just a guy that, me personally, that I can relate to. I mean, he's young.
Yeah.
He just left college a couple years ago. So it's just okay, so he's just another one of the homeboys.
Right. And that's how it should be, All right, looking ahead, what are you most excited for about this season, man? This is it.
All the opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a tough schedule, Oak Grove this week, and then
it don't get easy.
Go West Rankin, pick all those powerhouses. I mean, just the opportunity to really make a statement, really.
Right. Yeah.
Really to make a statement.
All right. So how do you, like you say, you told us how do you stay focused on the game plan? Like you said, you block out your distraction on Friday. You TikToking and listening to Lil Baby and Young Boy. So like, what else you got? When do you click and go into that mode when you get ready to go on that field?
All right, so I have a ritual every game day, no matter if it's home or away.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes before we do our pre-warm up.
Yeah.
That when I start my game day playlist.
Yeah.
I start my game day playlist. I go outside, walk up and down the field, pray at the goalpost, and then when I enter the locker room again, locked in.
It's over with.
But I can't lie to you. Most of the time, like if you was to catch me before a game, you always gonna see a smile on my face.
Yeah,
always.
That's common.
Always gonna see
you
a
in a good mood, huh? Yeah. All right, lastly, what do you hope to accomplish this season, both as an individual player and as part of the team? We know that you want that state championship.
Yeah.
You want your respect. You want all the doubters and naysayers to leave all that at home. What is your main focus and main goal as Connor White, QB1 of OSHS Springs High School this year?
I mean, make a statement, leave a legacy. I mean, I want to do something that haven't been done in OSHS Springs ever. And that's to win a state. And also, I mean, and then the big award, Mr. Football 7.
All that.
I mean, so Bray was the last one to get the job done.
Mr. Two-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring one of them back home.
Yeah, but I think Bray was the last 6'8" Mr. Football. Well, that before it transitioned, to 7A. But Connor, man, I appreciate you for coming on here, man. This is not gonna be your last time coming on the show. I look forward to seeing you perform tomorrow night, man. It's gonna be awesome, man, just to see the last year you had, and where you at now. Like that smile wasn't there a year ago.
I would.
So now I can tell you're in a good, healthy space, man. You're in your atmosphere. You're back growing, and that's what it's all about, man. So I look forward to the season for you, and I'm gonna look forward to just seeing you each and every week. I'm gonna make sure I get some content of your pregame routine, also, man. We're gonna get that on. We're gonna get that locked in, man. All right, Neff, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Coach hook you up with a free steak.
Gosh, I just left for senior dinner.
Okay.
I
The shoot.
just left for
Don't
senior
worry,
dinner.
like
with
Coach
the guys.
Nelson say, I'll eat your steak. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Connor White of Ocean Springs we had coming on the show. We're going to take a small break, and we'll be back with our last and final guest, Coach Brodie King, the quarterback coach for Ocean Springs.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now we're bringing in the mastermind behind the quarterbacks, Coach Brodie King. Coach King, welcome to the show.
What's up, man?
I finally got you on here, man. I had to pull some strings to get you on here, man. But, Coach, let's talk about Connor White, man, your quarterback, stepping up to be QB1. What makes him the right leader for this offense?
Man, Connor is a real laid back, real calm individual, man.
Yeah.
Everything he does is even keel. He don't
Yeah.
get too high. He doesn't get too low. He's a natural leader, and he demands respect from the guys around him. And he wants to be successful at everything he does.
Yeah.
He leads with actions rather than always his words.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that separates him, is being able to lead by what he does.
That's good. That's good. All right, so what's been the focus of the quarterback group heading into this matchup against Madison Central?
The biggest thing is just making sure that as a whole unit we're functioning together, and that the quarterbacks understand everything that they need to know in order to be successful and help the guys around them be successful.
Yeah.
Connor may know his job on a certain play or a certain series, but making sure the guys around him know what to do. So.
Okay, so how do you prepare Connor and the other quarterbacks for high pressure situations like a big game opener like this?
The biggest thing is making sure we practice the way that we're going to play in the game. We apply that pressure to them in practice and make sure that they're ready for those moments, and that they're ready to do what they need to do come game time, because they've repped it over and over and over again.
Oh yeah. All right, so Brodie, I can call you Brodie, right?
Yeah.
We're the friend bases, right? You know what I'm saying? You have quite a journey from playing at Biloxi High School under the legendary Bobby Hall, all right, to now, you're here at Ocean Springs coaching. What inspired you to transition into coaching?
Man, my dad was a longtime coach. He's still coaching over at Pass Christian, so I grew up around it. And I was fortunate enough to have some really good coaches in my time at Jones, at Biloxi, and at Mississippi State. They kind of influenced me to go down that path. So.
Right. All right, yeah, like you just stated, you played under some legendary coaches like Bobby Hall at Biloxi and the late, great Mike Leach at Mississippi State. How have those experiences shaped your coaching philosophy and under your dad?
Man, they've definitely shaped it. From my dad to Coach Steve Buckley at Jones, and then Coach Mike Leach at State. Man, they were all guys who every single day they were the same person.
Right.
They try to do their best at their job and put the kids first and try to put them in the best position to be successful. And that's what we do as coaches is try to help them be successful. So that's something I want to try and do. So.
All right. So what's your approach to developing young quarterbacks then, especially with a talent like Connor White leading the team this season?
The biggest thing is not letting other things get in the way of the talent they already have, helping them take what they have, the tools that they have to be successful, and be able to amplify that to where they can use it on the field. Like Connor does a lot of things well that other guys don't. He's like I said, he's very smart. He's got a real live arm that he can throw the ball from a lot of different arm slots and things like that. He's got good feet. He's a mobile guy. So taking the things that he does well and helping him do those things in the game. That's what we kind of try and focus on.
Oh yeah. All right. So what specific skills or attributes are you focusing on Connor at the quarterback position?
Right now, his feet are the thing. That's one thing quarterbacks have to work on. I know they throw all the time, but their feet being in the right position to allow them to make the throw and use the good arm that he does have. That's a big thing. And then his eyes, where his eyes are during a certain play, looking at his correct reads and all those type of things.
All right. So what are some of the key things you look for in high school quarterbacks that make them stand out?
Toughness. Toughness is number one. I think Connor's a tough guy.
He is.
He's from the spring game, the Jamboree. I saw some of that toughness from him. Leadership is another thing. Being able to command leadership through your actions and then with your words after that. Those are probably the two biggest things: toughness, and leadership, and obviously being able to throw the ball and be accurate. Give your team the best chance to win. So.
Connor throw a nice deep ball too. He throws one of the prettiest deep
does.
balls, man. Oh my God, it is, man.
He throws a good punch, man.
He was on our 7-on-7 team, big game Coastal League. He was our quarterback. Him, we had Jax Coleman as a receiver. We had Nolan Wells as a receiver. Jalen Williams, Malachi, Jalen Johnson. They all got the same last name. Malachi, like we had a nice little team, man, and it was a big nucleus of y'all offense and defense, and I got to see a lot of what Connor throws a pretty deep ball. It's just his, you can like as a coach, you can see the mechanics, and you be like, I want to work with that kid, man, because I see the things I can fix, man. He gets that a lot from a lot of quarterback coaches. Do you see the same thing?
Yeah, I do. Him and Sherrod both do a great job at what they do. Yeah. They do different things well, and like you said, Connor's great at throwing a good deep ball.
Yes, he does.
He's mobile in the pocket. He's a smart guy. Yeah. He leads by example. Yeah, so that's his biggest attribute for me.
Yeah. So, all right. So, from a coaching perspective, what are the most important aspects of preparing the offense for a tough opponent like Madison Central, from your perspective?
Kind of like I was hitting on earlier, making sure that we put them in the situations that they're going to see in the game, that we rep the plays that we want to run over and over and over to the point where they don't have to think as much and they can play fast. Because when guys are playing fast, they're not thinking and they can be successful. Try to put them in those situations that they'll see come game time.
All right. So, how do you collaborate with Coach Bramlett and the rest of the coaching staff to create a balanced game plan?
Man, our coaching staff as a whole is incredible, man. Yeah. Be around Coach Bramlett, Coach Lampley, and all the other guys we have.
Fun staff.
It's a great group. They all love football. They all want to be successful, and they all work extremely hard every day for them, for the kids, for the families. Yeah. And the biggest thing is making sure that we're all on the same page, which most of the time we are. Yeah. Just working on what can put the kids in the best position to be successful.
Oh yeah. All right, what adjustments have you made with the quarterback group based on what you've seen in practice and scrimmage this past after the Jamboree?
Man, the biggest thing was just making sure that we clean up some of those sloppy things like I talked about with the feet and the eyes, making sure that we're getting our teammates lined up in the right position, those type of things, and not letting us beat ourselves and letting our talent kind of take over and be successful in those areas.
All right, so playing under Mike Leach must have been quite an experience, man. So what one lesson you learned from him that you still apply to your coaching today?
The biggest thing I got from him, and I tell people this all the time, the stuff you see on TV, that's who he was.
That's who he was, the pirate.
What you see is what you get with him, man. And that's the biggest thing I took from him was be yourself in everything that you do. And don't let outside opinions and outside noise kind of affect the things that you do, because that's how he was, man. Every day he didn't care what people thought about him. He didn't care what somebody had to say. He was going to do things his way and be successful at it and work hard. And that's definitely something I try to bring to what I do. So.
All right, so you played 2 seasons at Jones College before moving on to Mississippi State. How did your time at both schools help you understand the game better?
I was able to see it from different perspectives. So in high school, I was a quarterback, and then I transitioned to slot receiver at Jones and at Mississippi State. So I was able to see it from different points of view, and be able to kind of grasp the game from that receiver perspective and the quarterback, which I think kind of helps in what we're doing. So that was probably the biggest thing, being able to see it from both sides.
That was gonna be like one of my next questions. I was like, how does your experience as a former player impact the way you connect and mentor your quarterback?
Yeah, man. I've been fortunate enough to be around a bunch of really good teammates and be on really successful teams and not very good teams. So I've been able to see what we did well that made us successful, and what we didn't do well that made us, not as successful.
Right.
So that's kind of the stuff I want to help bring to the table with the rest of our staff and all this type of thing. So
all right. So looking ahead, what do you see as the biggest strength for your quarterbacks this year, and where do you see the room growing from? Like, all right, like your quarterback now, he's a senior, but you got a young group of quarterbacks coming up.
The biggest thing I see, and I hope that we can grow into as the season goes along, is that leadership. Like he's already got some of it to start, him and Sherrod both, but I hope that as the season goes along, we take that mentality and increase it to the people around us.
Right.
So that's what the difference between a good and a great player is, how you affect the people around you versus just what you do. So I think that's something big that can help us along the way.
Oh, yeah. As a young coach, what are your long-term goals in coaching, and how do you hope to impact the players you work with?
Man, the biggest thing in coaching, I just want to take it day by day and try and be successful one day at a time. I mean, it sounds cliche, but that's what we tell the kids every day. That's take it one play at a time. So taking it one day at a time and giving your maximum effort on that single day can help you, be successful.
All right, so what excites you the most about this season, and what should fans look forward to from the Greyhounds?
Man, the biggest thing that I'm excited about is we got a bunch of new guys and new spots, man, with opportunity. I think Connor said it earlier about taking advantage of the opportunities you get. Man, I think that's the most exciting thing, is seeing new guys be able to create their own path and do their own thing this year, man. So it's gonna be exciting to watch.
It is, man. Coach, I appreciate you for coming on here, man.
Appreciate you.
This is our thing now. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to get used to seeing these faces right here, man. This is Brodie. Before we go, man, I always make comments about coach football, and I always bring up what the great Bobby Hall stated. I stand on it because he said it, and it's the truth, but it's only a few programs on the coast that are like, all right, he right. Let's step out notches up a bit. Springs Greyhounds was one of them. Man, what was it like under Bobby Hall? Was he another Mike Leach? Is it what you see is what you get, Coach?
Man, Coach Hall is kind of that similar way. What you see is what you get. He didn't want to beat around the bush. He always shot it to you straight. And that interview you're talking about, it was him being honest. That's how he felt in the moment. I do think there's a lot of talent along the coast, man, that I think can start to elevate and start to be as successful as some of these other teams. And that's why the things that we're doing, the schedule we have, and the way we're trying to get our guys ready and prepared, we want to be on those level of those type of teams and win those big games and be in those situations. And Coach Hall is a legend, man. He won a lot of football games, and it was for a reason. That's how he felt, and that's how he prepared his team. So that's the type of things we want to do.
You still talk to him?
Yeah, I talk to him. He sends me a happy birthday every year, man, on my phone. I saw him at the pedal game. He came to talk to me on the field before we started. So that's my guy, man.
Man. Shout out to Coach Hall, man. I want to sit down with him one day and just talk to him.
Oh, man, you'll get some great,
I'm already
camera stuff.
I'm already
great stuff.
Yeah, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Coach King, and we'll be taking a break, and we'll see him next time when he come back on the show. Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was another episode. This is episode 2, week 1, but we started on the Jamboree. Coach, any last closing remarks before we go?
And if y'all haven't done it yet, come out here on Thursday night and have a steak. I just got done eating one, and that was fantastic, man. That was fantastic. I ordered yours, but I finished mine already. So, but no, you know, good to be back here. Really looking forward to tomorrow night's game, and then you know, just kicking off the season. It's something that we look forward to all year, and you know, tonight's the last night of sleep without high school football.
I know it, man.
We're about to kick it off, get ready to roll.
I'm excited. Life is going to start life for us now, man.
That's right. You got about 15, 16 weeks.
All right, that's a wrap for tonight's episode of the Big Game Breakdown. Big thanks to Coach Bramlett, Coach King, and Connor White for joining us. Remember, we'll be back next Thursday, same time, same place, breaking down more of the season's biggest moments. Until then, see you at the game this Friday. Thanks to everyone here at KnuckleHeads for hosting us. Let's go Greyhounds. Good night, everyone. Peace.